Hi, my name is Ron Webb. I'm with the National Fire Protection Contractor known as the S.A. Communal Company. We do anything from commercial building, big boxes, and residential. So today we're here to talk about commodities. What is commodities? NFPA defines commodities into classifications of class 1 through 4, and then they expand it to plastic. So class 1 would be your least hazard commodity. And what do I mean by that? Picture a roll of steel. I mean, it's going to be hard to get a piece of steel to burn. So that's a good example compared to when you go to plastics and you take something like this, a nice little styrofoam cup, it's going to light up quick. So looking at it again, what we're going to do is we're going to look at class 1 being the least, 4 being higher, and then plastics. So we already talked about a class 1 commodity. It's going to be, again, an item that hard to ignite, potentially will. But one of the things when you got to look at the commodities too, is I want to emphasize throughout this, you just don't look at that roll of steel that I mentioned previously. What is it sitting on? Is it in a carton? All right. Even though that steel itself may be hard to ignite, it could be sitting on a nice wood pellet. And when anybody does campfires, you know how a nice dried out wood pellet burns. So you got to look at what is it sitting on. Is it a metal pellet, wood pellet, plastic pellet? And then what we're going to get in is it in a cardboard box or not? Cardboard boxes could be good, could be bad. You're thinking, wow, cardboard box, that's going to be bad because that's going to obviously ignite more than a piece of steel. But one of the things that you'll see going through the different classifications is whether it's carton or not. And that's what we say cardboard box. Because what you want to do is when that sprinkler head activates, you're pre-wetting the surrounding area around the fire, trying to stop that fire from spreading. So carton makes a big difference. So you go back to class 1 commodity, you're talking about an item that is hard to ignite, maybe sitting on a wood pellet. That's known as a class 1 commodity. So then you move up to the next one, which is class 2. And again, each time we go up, it's going to be a little bit more of something challenging for the fire to extinguish. So we're looking at a class 2 commodity, a little bit more challenging than a 1. So class 1-2 commodity is a class 1 product now in a wooden crate. Remember I mentioned 1, no crate, 2, now we got a crate. So you're taking that class 1 commodity, wasn't going to burn, but now you're going to put it in a wooden crate. You could be on to cardboard. So the third one up on the list is now the class 3 commodity. You're looking at wood, paper, cloth. Now you're starting to get in a little bit of plastics. The definition for it is may contain a limited amount. Now that's a true guessing game on a lot of people. What's a limited amount? They may say 5% by weight or volume. So, there's testing agencies that will actually go out there and test the product to see what is the weight and whether it's a class 3 or 4. So now we're in the class 4 commodity. You're basically taking the 1, 2, and 3 commodities and you're putting them in corrugated cartons. With the appreciable amount now you're getting into a weight of plastics and so forth. All these class 1 through 4 in what is known as the NFPA 13, there's examples they give you of each particular item, whether it's a class 1, and you could take a battery, is it a class 1, a class 2, class 3, and it's in the appendix of the NFPA 13 that you could reference. Obviously, they're not able to cover every particular item out there, but you have to start making correlation. An example is I got this, okay, this is what is known as expanded plastics, comparing it to, instead of being a cup, now it's a tray. It's still the same material, still going to burn the same. So there is involvement of doing comparison to figure out what the commodity. So again, class 1 being the worst, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a separate commodity for plastics. As you can imagine, plastics are very challenging to control in a fire situation. Even in plastics itself, they have two different categories. It's known as non-expanded plastics and expanded plastics. And then you get into carton non-expanded plastics compared to exposed. So what's a non-expanded plastic? Picture your armchair, or the plastic that's on your chair that you put your elbows on. Anything that's hard plastic, computers, hard plastic, that's an example of a non-expanded plastic. When you get into expanded, now you're looking at a plastic that potentially has air pockets in it. A good example of that is foam. You know, that's inside your couch, chair, bed. That is known as an expanded plastic. That is the most challenging fire out there. There's limitations on how high the building can be built. Exposed. Up to the 2013 edition of NFPA 13, there was no design scheme for exposed plastics. In 2016, they do have a new design scheme in there for exposed plastics, but again, it's limited for building height. You may have to put in INREX, which people don't like, but you know, again, if you can imagine, and for reference, please see the attached video of an example of a fire. And this was actually done in one of the testing labs, and you'll see the exposed plastic being ignited and exactly how fast that fire takes off, and you'll just be amazed and I think understand more of why the exposed plastics are such a challenging fire. So commodities, you're going to hear that a lot, especially with the ESFR heads, sprinkler heads, even the regular control mode heads. When you go through NFPA 13, they'll say that this particular ESFR head is approved for class 1 through 4 commodities. You have an idea with that. It's approved for carton expanded plastics. Now you have something to reference, what are they talking about? Or carton unexpanded plastics. So you just can't look at the product, you gotta look at the packaging, because now you have exposed expanded plastics. I want to thank you for this time that you've given me. I work for a company that again is called SA Comunel Company. You can visit us on our website. Feel free to call me at 1-800-776-7181 or send me an email at ron.webb@comunale.com. Thank you.